Hey, this is Carlo with 4GQ TV here at Sunscreen Film Festival in Saint Petersburg, Florida. And I'm here with somebody who's super talented, has done so much stuff, and is doing more stuff. But please introduce yourself.
My name is Chelsea Luna. I am an actress, a writer, and I make music.
That is like what they call a triple threat, at least from what I heard in the industry. But that is amazing. And not only not only are you doing that, have done that, but you also have done some really interesting videos that are really cool that helped you break the ice to kind of get into character maybe or do some other things or break some fears, whatever it might have been. So can you tell us a little about your journey, how you got started, and what keeps you going?
Yeah, so I started breaking into the industry through YouTube, and I kind of dabbled in everything with YouTube. I really wanted to challenge myself. I started doing some survival content, so I wanted to see if I could survive out in the wild, which was very challenging. I definitely underestimated myself there with that. I had to do a lot more research, but it was fun. That got me into the industry, and then I ended up doing a movie. I can't say the name of it right now because it's not out, but I realized I love acting. I really, really love acting. It gives me a purpose. I didn't have much of a purpose at the time. Do you ever feel as though you go through certain things in life and it prepares you for life?
Yes.
I feel like that, like my entire life prepared me for the moments that I had to reach to when I did the acting in the movie, because they had a lot of really intense scenes, and I had to reach to those places to get the emotions out, and it was really therapeutic. So I fell in love with it, and yeah, I've just been doing everything ever since.
So you started on YouTube,
Yes.
and what made you turn on the camera the first time and be like, you know what, I'm going to go on YouTube, I'm going to take a chance, take a rest, just throw out, what I feel like doing and see what happens? What made you go into that?
That mindset. I just did it. I really just did it. There's not much of a story there. I just picked up the camera and just wanted to see if I could do it. And I felt like it was fun. And I believe, like, YouTube, throughout my journey, there was a few lonely nights. So I had YouTube. So I had my community on YouTube, and they were there for me. So we really built a strong bond on YouTube. And yeah, I'm really, really grateful, really lucky. And I'm glad I took that risk because you can find yourself being very shy. And when you're very shy and you don't challenge yourself, you miss out on things that can be beautiful.
So you did the YouTube, you got, your community behind you. And I did say did the YouTube like my, our parents would have said or whatever. But anyway, so you did that. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to challenge myself and do some stuff out in the wild and
That's exactly how it went.
Wherever it takes me.
I remember I called my parents and I told them, because I did a video once where I had a military man hunt me down in the wild, and I wanted to see if I could evade him for the challenge. It's a normal thing. And my mom was so mad at me when I told her I was doing that, but I'm here. I survived. And
so did you evade the?
I did for 4 days. 4 days.
And what did you do in those 4 days?
I slept on the ground at one point, and I slept on a picnic table one night. I think 2 nights. Yep, 2 nights I slept on a picnic table, and then the next night I had trouble sleeping, so I ended up sleeping in a canoe because they let me take out this well, it was a kayak, not a canoe, but they let me take it out, and as I was sleeping, he found me. So sleeping on the river. That was my worst mistake, I think, the entire time. But
so, hold on. So, on the river,
I was floating in the kayak like this. Getting a tan.
Was this in Florida? Was this?
Yes.
So you did it in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And where did you find like the way to set this up and film it and do all that? Because That's kind of like for most content creators to be like, I wouldn't even know how to do this. So what made you like figure this out and be like, okay, I'm gonna.
I just said I wanted to do it and I was going to find a way. I had some friends helping. I had friends holding the cameras. There were a few days where we had to share the same camera person. So we only had like footage of him at like night and footage of me during the day. But other than that, you just go for it. And you call campsites, you set something up with them too.
Wow.
And it all just works out.
What was the would you say is the craziest thing that you've done on the YouTube video that challenged yourself?
Oh, the craziest thing. I'd say I've done a lot. Traveling. I almost fell off the side of a mountain one time.
What?
Yes, I would never do that again. I learned my lesson with that. I try not to do risky things anymore. Like I said, it prepared me so that when I do movies, I don't like I feel tough. Little minor scrapes or anything like that doesn't bother me. I like to have women empowerment and be a strong, woman out there. But yeah, I almost fell off the side of a mountain. I didn't know altitude sickness was a thing like that, and I had high altitude sickness. We were climbing to a cave. There's this like hidden cave they wanted us to get to, and this was back when I had like the management company on YouTube and stuff, and I didn't make it to the cave. I blacked out for like 30 seconds on the side of the mountain. I have the video. I never put it out because I don't want to promote that. Um, but yeah, I'd say that was some of the scariest. I had a run-in with a bobcat. I was surrounded by coyotes once. That was in a live stream.
You lived like 1,000 lives from your YouTube channel already. You've been like through it all.
Yeah.
Well,
Much.
first off, I want to say the mountain climbing thing. I think that's a good story to tell in a sense because, there are people that climb mountains and they probably wouldn't even realize they had altitude sickness. So, I mean, that is something that probably is a good topic to tell people, hey, you might get altitude sickness.
You know what? You're right. It could save some people.
Yeah, it could save somebody, especially somebody that doesn't have a lot of people to back them up or they're like, hey, I'm just going to try it, with my buddy. And then what if they both get it?
Yeah. There's a lot of people that actually die on mountains. I researched it after that, and they'll try to climb like the Appalachian Mountain and things like that, and they'll die because they don't know about the altitude sickness. So you're definitely correct.
So it is a good story to tell, and I'm glad you shared it, and I hope people take that into account and be like, you know what, I should look into this first before trying this. But the coyotes and the bobcat,
yes.
I'm curious. Did you intentionally go like on property that they may have been on, and you were like, I'm just gonna venture anyway?
I went with a group. So at that time, I was doing whatever the group wanted. It was kind of, I was just there, and we're all filming together and collaborating. So I didn't really have much of a choice. Of course, I could have said no, but I wanted to be strong. And I went with them. And yeah, there's definitely wildlife. I just didn't think about it. It was a few years back, and we were surrounded by coyotes, and they just ran next to us in the live stream. And, yeah.
So they didn't bother you guys, though.
No, they just howled at us a lot.
Okay, that's still.
I thought they were going to eat me.
That's still a little scary. Yeah, that's still a little scary. They're wild animals, and you're like, what are they going to do?
My mom was mad at me for that one too.
Oh, I can imagine. You probably had her worried a lot on some of your ventures. She's probably like, man, you're crazy. You're crazy. So you went from there, you did all your videos, and then you started getting involved in acting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if, maybe somebody saw you on YouTube and like, hey, this, she fits a role, or if you went out and, auditioned. How did you get into acting?
Actually, one of my friends was a background actor for a movie, and their lead actress ended up falling through. So they needed someone, and I was there. And they just threw me into the role. I had a week to learn the script for an entire movie, like a full feature movie. I had to learn the entire thing.
You memorized it?
Yeah, and then I practiced in a park. I have videos. I'll show you all of this behind the scenes. Um, but I had to dress up as a soldier for this movie. So it was completely out of my comfort zone because I don't yell at people. And I had to yell at people as a soldier. And we had to reenact everything in a park. And it got to the point to where people in the park ordered pizza and were just watching us acting it out. But we did it, and I think it came out really nice too. So.
I'm blown away by your stories. I've never spoken to a starting out a content creator and doing all this wild, brave stuff that you've done, and then in acting, and that's quite a journey. It's almost like these experiences lend to your character that you could possibly play in a movie or play in whatever. I'm at a loss. This is the first time I'm at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for words on this.
I just go with the flow. I don't.
Simply amazing. It is. It is simply. Yeah. It's.
I appreciate that.
It's epic. So, acting, and then you also have other talents too. You said as well. You've also done other stuff, and can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So I'm a writer and I make music. So I will be publishing 3 books by the end of the year. And I'll send you all the information for those as well. One is based on my life story, and then the other 2 are science fiction novels. And I might also have a poetry book coming out, but that one's in the works.
How do you have any free time?
I don't. I barely sleep. That's why I was yawning when I was talking to you.
So you're always working. You're always thinking about the next creative thing, what you do. Wow.
Yeah. I can't stop thinking. What comes to me, I have to put out.
So it's like, it's the adrenaline and the excitement of the next thing that keeps you going?
Yeah, definitely.
Man, I definitely can't wait to see all the future stuff. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of those behind the scenes stuff. Because it's wild. Is there anything that you could tell us about any upcoming projects or anything that you've been in the past that's already been produced or published?
So I can tell you that I will be filming a TV show. I can't tell you what it is about or who it's with, but that's coming up very soon. And then I can tell you about the books. And I believe I'm allowed to say this. I was just in a music production for GTA 6. So that will be coming out too.
That's amazing. That is going to be a blockbuster game.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to hear you.
I was always the red dot, taking everybody out in the game.
Nice. Yeah, everybody's going to hear you. And that is wild. So it's YouTube, it's video games, it's books, poetry, acting, also singing as well. I mean, it goes with the video game, but you're more than a triple threat. You're like a quadruple.
I'm not a threat at all. I want to experience every part of life. I feel like it's important, and yeah, I want to live as many lives as I can.
I mean, that's a good way to have experiences in life and try different things. And at a loss for words again. I'm sorry, guys. I've never interviewed anybody that has done so much like this, so it's just epic.
I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. So, speaking of video games, I'm going to ask you, are you a fan of video games? Besides just being in them, but like, have you played any franchises you like?
Yeah, so I used to be very obsessed with video games. Someone that has a mind that never stops. I became highly obsessed, and I had a whole community that I hung out with that they would go in and do all the computer stuff to change the game, and that was pretty fun. That was right before I did YouTube, and then after I did YouTube, eventually I had to focus on that. But yeah, if you're part of that gamer community, hey. We all got really close. That's why I just wanted to wave to them.
Did you have a gamer handle? Or?
I did, and it's actually the name of my Instagram. It's Bunny Hopper, but Bunni, not Bunny.
Okay.
Bunny Hopper _ and that was my Xbox name. So
That's awesome. Wow. Well, I definitely want to thank you for hanging out with us and talking to us. And it's really exciting to talk to you because now I know after the interview, I'm going to have like 10,000 questions after I take all this in because I couldn't take it all in of the interview. It's just so much stuff you've done. But I am looking forward to reading some of your books. I'm looking forward to checking out your music. And I'm looking forward to going through your archive of YouTube and seeing some of this crazy stuff. Sleeping in a kayak on a river. Sleeping in
yeah,
I,
it was an adventure. For
was there
sure.
alligators in that river?
Yes. Oh my gosh! And I didn't know until I seen the footage. There was an alligator across the river from me, and I was in the water at one point.
At night or day?
During the day, and they got a video of the alligator swimming down the river, and then they pan over, and there I was.
What did your camera crew say?
They didn't, apparently nothing. They just let it happen.
Oh,
So,
oh wow.
yeah.
Well, you are brave, braver than most, I will say. And where can people find you on the internet and all your future stuff?
They can find me on YouTube under Chelsea Luna. I also have a blog channel that is Chelsea Maxine that gives a more personal, in-depth experience of what my life's been like and the ups and downs. I'm very honest. I think a lot of people are scared to show the downs in life, and I think that's important because you look on social media and you see people living perfect lives. You feel very bad about yourself sometimes, and I felt that way, so I will never do that. I will show you hey, this was a struggle for me. Hey, this, life's not always perfect. So I try to be very open. And even though people get very judgmental, I still do it. So I have the blog channel, Chelsea Maxine, the main channel, Chelsea Luna. My Instagram is bunnyhopper_, and then, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Chelsea, for hanging out with us,
Thank you.
talking to us, and you lived 1,000 movies. That's it. 1,000 movies.
Hopefully I'll rate 1,000 movies.
Oh, the icebreaker question, Dred. You forgot to tell me about the icebreaker question.
My part, it's your part.
Okay, so icebreaker question we ask at the end. Our buddy Paul says we should ask it at the end, but I call icebreaker at the end. Okay, it's a highly debated subject. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes, all the way. Oh, you don't like it.
Oh,
Oh, you don't like it. I can tell. I love it. I love pineapple on the pizza.
Okay, that's fair. Highly debated. It's fair. Well, thank you, Chelsea, and I wish you much success in the future on everything that you do. And I can see that you're going somewhere. You have it in your mindset, and you're ready just to keep going 100% forward and tackling on any project that comes your way.
Yes. I'll take it head on, and I take all my projects very seriously. So
That's
it was
awesome.
wonderful to meet you.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.